Cass, where are we going?
Ireland,
What time is it?
like 4:30.
Are we excited?
Yes.
Wild, also known as the Rolling Explorer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. A couple of weeks ago, I went to Dublin, Ireland with my best friend from back home in the US. We've always talked about traveling the world together, and we've been planning this trip in one way or another for almost a decade. And so even though we were literally living out one of our wildest dreams, there were a lot of moments on this trip that were dipping more into the nightmare territory. Keep watching to see all of the chaos me and Cass got up to on our first day in Dublin. Every time I have to walk the streets of London this early in the morning, I always feel like I'm in some sort of strange dreamlike state. The idea of being in one of the biggest metropolitan cities in the entire world and having it be this silent and still. Like I said, a dream. But don't worry, the peace didn't last for too long. As soon as we entered the station, drama ensued. Cass and I are both quite anxious people, so to combat any potentially problematic energy on the day of our travel, we decided to pre-book our train tickets to Gatwick Airport. This meant that everything was planned, everything was paid for. All we had to do when we got to the station was to collect our tickets. And apparently even this was too complicated for us at 4:30 in the morning because we ended up having to go to not one, not two, but 3 machines in 2 different areas of the station before we were able to successfully print these tickets. Now, was this the most stressful situation of our day? Not even close, but it didn't get us off on the right foot either. Once we had the tickets in our hands, we made our way to the Gatwick Express platform, which was the train that we pre-booked. Why do I know this for sure? Because the Gatwick Express costs more money than any of the other trains to Gatwick Airport. So please tell me why, when we got to the Gatwick Express platform, there was a staff member there telling us, oh, well, I don't know why you have these tickets, because the first Gatwick Express train doesn't even leave Victoria Station until 6 a.m. Well, that's not gonna work. Our plane leaves at 8. This staff member then informed us that there was another train leaving in about 10 minutes at the platform across from the one that we were heading to. He then went on to warn us that we were going to have to switch trains after only a few stops. One of the reasons that I usually opt to book the Gatwick Express or similar train journeys when I'm booking trains for myself is because transferring trains is a nightmare as a disabled person. So the idea of transferring trains and relying on 3 sets of people to get me on and off of these trains has me very nervous. But as a disabled person and as a lover of travel, we learned to roll with the punches, and I just accepted my fate that things were not going to be easy on this morning. And we went to wait on the platform for this train. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and nobody comes with a ramp. After about 5 minutes, Cass goes off to try to find somebody to help us onto the train, and I stay by the wheelchair loading zone so that I can hopefully flag somebody down if they happen to walk by, which luckily, with 2 minutes to spare, somebody does come by, and then they go past me, but then they come back. So I have like 3 heart attacks in one, but eventually we get assistance. But it's not the assistance that we were expecting. The guy does not come back with a ramp, but instead, with more information. Apparently, there's another train. Now, it is not the Gatwick Express, so it's going to stop at several different stations along the way, but it is a direct line to Gatwick Airport, meaning we're not gonna have to transfer. Why the original guy did not tell us that this train existed is beyond me, but it's fine because we got there in the end anyway. Now, this semi-helpful assistant guy then proceeds to give Cass and I an extra boost of adrenaline and anxiety by saying, oh, the guy with the ramp's already over there waiting for you if you just wanna like run around really quick. And because I don't trust airlines with my electric wheelchair, I'm in my manual chair, which means Cass is pushing me, so poor her has to run across Victoria Station to get to this new platform, to get on this new train, to this man that is apparently waiting for us with a ramp. So she sprints, we make it there, we're both huffing and puffing, her because she's exhausted, me because I'm anxious, and nobody's waiting. I don't know what information this assistant guy thought he had, but he was wrong. And we were once again playing the game of, is anybody going to show up? So we waited and we waited and we waited. Nobody comes. Cass once again has to go off in search of somebody to help us. And she ends up finding somebody that works on the actual train, so not at the station, but on the train. And they come to the door at the same time that somebody from the station comes to the door. And this guy that worked at the station had absolutely no desire to be there. Unfortunately, I didn't start filming early enough here, but this man literally drops the ramp with no care in the world whether or not it damages the train, the ramp, him, I don't know. It was very careless and very quickly showed me what sort of service we were about to get. I mean, even just watching this clip from this part, you can tell that the level of care is just not there. And as if I needed further proof, when the guy on the train asked the station staff member if he was going to call ahead to Gatwick Airport to let them know that we were on board the train and would need the ramp at Gatwick, the station staff member said, "No, I don't work for special assistance. This is not my job. I'm not calling anyone." And then he stormed off. Thank God the guy that actually worked on the train was able to help us off at Gatwick Airport, and the staff at Gatwick Airport were very apologetic that they didn't have the ramp ready, but they explained to us that no, they had in fact not been contacted by Victoria Station to let them know that we were on board and needed to get off at this destination. So thumbs up for some really great special assistance there. Excellent. Excellent job. That's fine. We made it to the airport safely, which at the end of the day is the most important thing. And we were there on time with plenty of time to spare. I think we had like 2 hours by the time we actually arrived. So fine, whatever. As soon as we were through security, we decided to check in at the special assistance desk to find out what we needed to do to make sure myself and my wheelchair made it to Dublin safely. And they were in a real rush. So they very quickly shepherded us to get on one of those big cart buggy things that drives around the airport. And unbelievably, my wheelchair didn't fit in this buggy thing. I mean, the whole point of it is special assistance, and my wheelchair is a standard sized wheelchair and it folds up because again, it's my manual one, it's not even my electric one, and it doesn't fit. It's clear disabled people did not design this service, this technology. It's very clear, but it's fine. It's fine. But as if this isn't the weirdest part of it all, they made me stay on the buggy and had Cass push the wheelchair behind the buggy through the airport. I don't know why, and I felt so bad. And maybe this makes me a bad friend, but I actually thought it was hilarious. And I mean, she did too. Maybe not in the moment. But looking back, we both laughed on this particular circumstance. But surely it would have just been easier for me to sit in my wheelchair and have her push me to the gate at our own pace instead of her trying to keep up with this buggy that kept changing speeds. Sometimes she was running into the back of it because it would suddenly slow down and come to like almost a halt at how slow it was moving. And then other times it was zooming off and she was like sprinting to keep up with it. It made no sense. There was no rhyme or reason for it. And it would have just been better if I was able to sit in my wheelchair and have her push me to the gate than having her have to follow behind this thing, awkwardly pushing my wheelchair. It just doesn't make sense. But it's fine. We were able to board pretty quickly, and luckily I was able to pass out for the majority of that flight. Whilst listening to Taylor Swift's new Midnights album, of course, I was hoping it would set the mood for my subconscious for the rest of the day. But as you can probably guess, that didn't happen either.
Ireland, we're here!
After disembarking the plane, we went to pick up our bags from the baggage carousel thing, which, unbelievably, we went to the wrong one of those at first because there was a flight from London Heathrow's airport that came in at almost the exact same time, and we got them confused on the like little display thing that tells you which baggage carousel you're at. So we were one of the last people to pick up our baggage, but that's fine. It was more of just an inconvenience on ourselves than anything else, really. And then we made our way to the taxi rank to get a cab into the city center where our hotel was. And the process was really easy. We were given a pretty big cab to fit my wheelchair and all of our bags, and our cab driver was so nice. He instantly started asking us questions about our trip and giving us a few tips and tricks for our time in Dublin. But our joy did not last long because unbelievably, something was wrong with the car. The cab driver interjected the conversation and was like, "Do you see smoke?" And I very quickly was like, "No." But apparently he did. And he looked at his little meter that read the temperature of the car or whatever. I'm not a car person. I don't know exactly what meter he's talking about, but something on the car was saying that the car was overheating. And we're on this pretty big interstate highway sort of situation. He makes a beeline for the first exit we come across, exits, wildly pulls to the side of the road and into a bus stop. He informs us that he's going to flag down another cab driver for us and that he's not going to charge us for the short journey that we've gone on, which Cass and I were both very appreciative of. But I was looking around the location and was like, surely this is not the best place to flag down another cab. I mean, we're literally right near the exit ramp of this major highway. Surely this is not the best space. But to my surprise, it only took a few minutes before somebody came zipping around the bend and equally as wildly pulled right in front of our car to let us transfer into their vehicle. I truly don't know why our transportation situation was such an experience on this day, but it was an experience. After that, thank God, everything began to mellow out. We got to the hotel a little after noon and were immediately allowed to check into our room, which was a huge win considering check-in time wasn't until 3 o'clock. So we were able to quickly dump our stuff and make our way back out of the hotel to go find something to eat. Neither Cass or I had eaten or drank anything all day, so we were dying to consume something. And so we just popped into the first place that we came across that we both knew was easy and cheap and quick and food. And that was McDonald's. I'm not particularly the biggest fan of McDonald's food, but in that moment, it was the option, and I was taking it. And you know what? My McCrispy meal was actually very, very good. So we quickly ate our food, did some minor exploration of this shopping area that we were nearby, and then came back to the hotel, grabbed a muffin for dessert, and took a very well-deserved nap before our first planned activity of the day. Cass and I had pre-booked a 4 p.m. tour of the Jameson Distillery, which was conveniently only located 5 minutes away from the hotel. And the Jameson tour was so nice, guys. It was so good. We learned about the history of the Jameson Distillery and the impact that whiskey has had on the Irish community and the Irish culture. We learned how whiskey was made, which was really cool. And then we got to do a tasting. Believe it or not, your girl is not that big of a drinker, and I actually never had whiskey before, so I was actually a little bit nervous for this tasting session, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just like when you go wine tasting, they had us swirling the whiskey in the shot glass, which made me feel very posh and very knowledgeable and like I was a connoisseur of beverages, which I am in no way, shape, or form. But it was fun to pretend, and I really enjoyed the taste of the standard Jameson whiskey and the Jameson Black Barrel. Both were really good. The Jameson Crested, however, was, in a word, horrific. It literally made me gag every single time I tested it, and I tried it several times just to make sure that I actually disliked it, because I don't know, I'm a weirdo like that. But I really had a good time tasting the different whiskeys and ultimately getting to experience something new while in Ireland. At the end of the tour, you're able to cash in your ticket for 1 full-size drink from the bar, and I opted for the Jameson Distillery special of ginger ale and lime soda with whiskey. And if you know me and you know how much I love ginger ale, it'll probably come to no surprise to you that I absolutely loved this drink. I thought it was so refreshing, it was so good, and even though I liked the taste of some of the whiskeys, I probably would not usually opt to drink them straight, and so the mixers really did some solid good things to my drinking experience. And because I'm not that big of a drinker, the few little tasters and the full drink definitely left me feeling myself by the time we left the distillery. Like, honestly, are we surprised? And just to put into perspective how bubbly I was feeling, this couple that exited the distillery at the same time as us were laughing at my vibrant energy. And honestly, I don't care at all. I was living my best life with my best friend. I had just gone on this really incredible tour. I just had a really stressful day. And you know what? I was enjoying myself. And I am not gonna apologize for that. On our short walk back to the hotel, Cass and I decided that we were going to go back up to our hotel room to enjoy the sunset views over Dublin and order in some food. But can you guess what happened next? Our food never arrived. Our food never arrived! This is one of those moments when you're traveling that you just really start to question whether or not you were really meant to be on this trip, because so many things had gone wrong. After waiting over an hour for this food that never showed up, Cass and I ventured back out onto the streets of Dublin to try to find something to eat. Now, please keep in mind, it's really not that late. It's only like 7:30 when we make our way outside. But when I tell you that everything was closed, except for the places that wanted you to pay extortionate amounts of money for a simple meal. So we walk around for about 30-ish minutes before succumbing to the golden arches once again.
Are you gonna? How are you feeling? Oh, unwell.
Yup, that's right. We went back to McDonald's. I think I already said that I'm not a particularly big fan of McDonald's, and I was there twice in one day. I'm in a new country, a new city, and I eat McDonald's twice in one day. Clearly, neither of us were that enthused about this situation, especially because they messed up both of our orders. But you know what? It's fine. It was fast food. We were able to eat quickly, get back to the hotel by a reasonable time of night, and go to sleep and prepare for a very big day 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the drama of this video because I felt like it was quite dramatic. And if you did, it would mean the world to me if you could give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below any questions you have about the experience, or if you've been to Dublin, I'd love to hear your Dublin stories. Leave them in the comments below and I would be happy to read them. And then if you want to see what Cass and I got up to on day 2, be sure to hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when that video goes live next week. Until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.